Okay, so I am walking the Royal Mile in Edinburgh just to see how it goes. This will be maybe a 20-minute video. I'm planning on not stopping, so hopefully my battery will last. This at the far east end is Hollywood Palace, or Hollyrood House. This is where the monarch stays when he or she is in Edinburgh. This section of the Royal Mile is called the Abbey Strand, and it changes names when we cross the roundabout here. Turns into Canongate. Down here is Hollywood Park, and there's Arthur's Seat. You can climb up there. It's a great little climb. I did it last year, I believe. Made a video of it. And supposedly, I found out on the internet recently, supposedly a giant used to sit on there. So I don't know if that's supposed to be Arthur or not. It's definitely not King Arthur. There's no reference to that. Otherwise, it would be all over the place. This here is the new Parliament building, which seems like most people in Edinburgh are embarrassed about. They think it was, I don't know, one of those weird things. They had a contest to submit, and people submitted designs, and they picked the one that most of the locals don't like the most. Bunch of pigeons up there. Okay, like I said, we're just going to keep going. I'm going to hold this at my chest level so that I'm not looking through it all the time. Currently it is a Sunday morning, about 8 o'clock. I chose to do this now so that I'm not in the way of a bunch of other tourists. So there's going to be a lot of things closed as we pass it by. Still going to be some traffic going by, so I'll have to talk over that. But like I said, I'm not going to be dealing with too many other tourists. And so hopefully things will go fairly smoothly. Like I said, I'm more worried about my battery running out than anything else. So yeah, we are currently on the Canongate. Very little of interest here. And again, it's Sunday morning, so a lot of shops and stuff are going to be closed. Most of these shops are souvenir shops, whiskey shops, a bunch of pubs. It's this big tourist center, the whole Royal Mile, so obviously everything here is going to be geared more towards tourists than the local residents. Okay, we're just clearing the Parliament area. And again, there are a lot of monuments slash, other architecture things to mention here, but not going to go into a lot of that because I didn't look it all up. I didn't want to take too many notes. So there are a lot of buildings and all. We got Oink coming up here. This is apparently a chain of restaurants. I've seen 2 or 3 of them, but not all in one place. This place is a good landmark because of the pink sign. There will usually be and there still is, a roast pig in the window. And it smells like pig farm when you walk by, which is a disgusting smell. So, yeah, I keep kosher. I don't eat pork, so, but it's a good little landmark to let you know where you're at sometimes. What else we got going? Reed's Court. So this is a school. You gotta watch for the kids when you're coming out here because they'll be running around and people look at you weird. So again, the Royal Mile runs away. Scotland's full of all these little, they're called closes. They're basically like little alleyways, we would call them back home probably. Some of them only go a few feet and then they end in a building, so it's weird. You know, that's about 20-foot long close, but it's on the maps. Panmure Close is again fairly short. I mean, you can look down. It's interesting. I mean, you're looking at old architecture and stuff like that, and historical looking, but at the same time, sometimes people live in those, so you don't want to stick your nose in people's business too much. Okay, we're coming up to some stuff here. Yeah, so this is the Canongate Kirk on this side. There's a museum here, which is this what I'm thinking of? This is the Museum of Edinburgh. Yeah, so this is just stuff specific to Edinburgh. We got the People's Story across the street. So the People's Story is, this is like a museum to the working class, sort of middle class, working class. Let me double check that. It is closed currently. That's right. I looked that up online to find out more about it, and it is, they're having hiring problems apparently, so it's closed currently. Just wanted to look that up. A wind, which is like it closed, but you curve a little bit. Oh. And again, mostly tourist shops. So yeah, you're going to get souvenir shops, you're going to get woolen shops, you're going to get whiskey shops. Those are the main things you're going to get. Then you get pubs, of course. This will do nicely. There's 2 or 3 of those along here. I think there's 2 Prestige Scotlands along here somewhere. What am I looking for here? Check my map. The Mile, Fudge House. Yeah, it's almost always busy if you go to the Fudge House, because I think that's one or two places you can buy fudge on the mile. So get a lot of business people getting fudge. Close. A few hotels along the street as well. Old Playhouse clothes, souvenirs. New Street. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. The Cannon's Gate. Jessel's Court. What do we got? Grape. Tattoos and piercings. You know, come to Edinburgh, get a tattoo. Okay, so now we're coming up to Jeffrey Street and St. Mary Street. So Jeffrey Street runs north of the Royal Mile. So there's a Calton Hill in the background there. Lots of monuments up there. Nelson's Monument, you can go to the top and get a good view. So we have Jeffrey Street and Mary Street here. And so here, Cannon Gate turns into High Street. So we're getting into slightly more serious okay, so this here, this is the Scottish Storytelling Centre. So they will have performances, people reading old Scottish tales, history, stuff like that. You have to go in and check their schedule to see when and what they're doing. But this is also the Knox House. So John Knox lived here. So they built on it. They built the storytelling center under it. Okay, we got the Museum of Childhood coming up. This is a basically dedicated to what being a child is like in the 18th century on, 19th century on. I was in there once, got some interesting things, but that's probably changed since the last time I've been in there. What else we got here? Another this'll do nicely. Making better time than I thought because there are a lot less people around. So picked a good time to do this. Yeah, I'm approaching the halfway mark here somewhere, I think. So this is the Tron Kirk coming up here. What about the Tron Kirk? So it was built in the 1700s, closed in 1952, or stopped being used as a church at least. Now it's used, they'll have like local artist exhibits. They have some craft fair type things, you know, local artists can sell their stuff. Yeah, this is the South Bridge, North Bridge crossing here. And tours, of course, we got the kiosk here where you can book your underground tours. Excuse me. And some of your ghost tours and stuff. So that's what this kiosk is, but here's the Kirk. Like I said, it's no longer a church. It's used as a sort of a art center, tourism center sort of combination. This is Royal Hunter Square, which the Kirk is located on. Okay, so this area here, I think the streets are currently open. What they will do is they will close off the streets around, I think maybe 10 in the morning. Never actually been here when they close it, but they have it open to traffic in the morning so that, you know, shops can get their stuff and people can load and unload stuff. And then they close off the street to traffic. People can walk around as they wish. And it's what am I thinking of? Basically, they'll have people doing like street entertainers, stuff like that. Oh, is this what I'm looking for?
Are you staying out there? Or you just going for the day?
I think down here, or down maybe the other way. New Assembly Close, I think, is the right place. Yes, here it is. There used to be a wax museum down here. It was opened in 1976 by a guy. What was his name? Charles Carnes? He also had the Dracula Theater upstairs. He played it. Charles Cameron, that's his name. It closed in 1989. It opened in 1976. It was actually doing good business, but no one really sure why it closed. But it was open for about a decade. So some of the wax figures from it have been moved around. So I think the Scottish Whiskey Experience has some. The Woolen Mills has some, I believe. Okay. Here is the City Chambers coming up. It runs over Mary Queen's Close, which I talked about. This is the original location of Mercat Cross. Mercat Cross was chartered in 1365. It moved in 1657 and then moved again. This is the original location. Basically, Mercat is just Scottish word for market. So this was, you could set up your market stalls around here. I don't know if this is... They've got the old Parliament building back here, running behind St. Giles Cathedral. Yeah, this is another place where ghost tours will meet. Oh yeah, so back there, back at the bridges, North and South Bridge, are places where bagpipers will usually play. There are three major places where you'll see bagpipers around here generally. You'll see them in other places, but these are like the three. And that's the least of the three. You'll sometimes see one back there. As we approach up here to a little ways past the cathedral, here is another place where across the street you will most likely see them. Still by the cathedral here, big cathedral. Here we go. Again, the old Parliament still moving around here. So this heart on the floor here, this was the old toll house entryway. The toll house was a market for a while and then became a prison. Okay, so down this way there will be some stairs going down. You can see the Scott Monument poking up there. There's some stairs going down here, then you'll cross Waverly Bridge. Waverly Station, railway station, will be next to the bridge. Then you get to across the bridge where Scott Monument is Princess Street. So like I said, this here is mostly shopping for tourists. Princess Street is all your more department stores. That's your big shopping district, so to speak. Okay, and we're crossing onto the lawn market here, I believe. Yeah, so St. Giles Street leads us to the lawn market. Bank Street. Yeah, so if you watch my ghost tour video, this is where Gowerly House would have been. The site of the gallows is marked by the 3 brass plates set on the edge of the pavement in front of this notice. So apparently executions took place here too. So this used to be Old Bank Street, and then they widened it to make George IV Bridge. Deacon Brody's Tavern. And we are still on the lawn market here. So yeah, around this area is another place where you will generally see a bagpiper. Deacon Brody Close, or Brody's Close. And I believe this might be one of the wax statues from the old museum. I'm not sure. But there's Deacon Brody. Oh, let's see. Going to see if I can't cross the street here, because I think it's going to be a better place to be. Lady Stairs closed. Old Edinburgh shop. Yes, so got a cathedral. Again, there's a lot of churches around here which are not named on maps. And there are a lot of building and stuff, old historical stuff, which it would take forever to try to describe them all. I'm just trying to do a quick walkthrough here. So that'll take us down to the not the grass market, I believe the hay market. That'll take us down to Bow Street and Victoria's Terrace. Now we're on the grass market. No, this is the lawn market. That is the grass market down there. That's right. Okay, I'm getting it now. And generally somewhere around here is another place where you will see a bagpiper. Again, it's early Sunday morning, so we aren't seeing a bunch of bagpipers out. The street performers won't come out until maybe between 10 and noon. The Witchery Shop. So there are there's a witchery restaurant here, there's a witchery shop. I don't know how connected they are to each other. But in this general area, it seems there's a lot of things named witchery. Camera Obscura. So the Camera Obscura, it's like a, I don't know. It's like a not a telescope, periscope, sort of, only it shows its things on the, on a screen. And then they got a bunch of just, there's a museum in here also. Yeah, so the actual Camera Obscura was built mid-1800s, I think. And then on the building, they did this whole museum type thing with optical illusions and stuff. Across the street, we have, of course, got the Scottish Whiskey Experience. And we got the Tartan Weaving Mill. And we have crossed onto the Castle Hill. Back, by the church there, I think, was about where it started. And going up the Castle Hill leads us to Edinburgh Castle. Yeah, Edinburgh Castle. Things were happening on the hill here back in quote-unquote prehistoric times. Of course, history means that stuff was written down. So we're talking Scottish history here, not world history. But back, as far back as the Iron Ages, they know things were going on the hill. Around 600 AD, people built forts on the hill. At least that far back. What else do we got here? I believe it was 1500s. I could be wrong on that one. That is the earliest I heard about the castle being here, so sometime between 600 and 1500. Could be 1300, I could be thinking of. Queen Margaret died, is the date she died. They've, of course, rebuilt onto the castle. And then back when they united the crowns, during the Union of Crowns, they stopped using it as a royal residence and it became a military barracks. And so that's it. We just made our trip up the Royal Mile. Hope you enjoyed it.